All right, budgeting question. Dear Billy the Banker, I'm a 29-year-old lady, and I graduated college last December. Congratulations. I worked hard and found a great job immediately. Good for you. I can comfortably pay my bills and put money away in savings. Now, this is a scenario you don't hear that often from these kids who are graduating college these days, it seems. Anyway, she says, I've picked up a side gig tutoring kids to earn extra money to put into savings. Things are going pretty well. All right, here's my question. I grew up really poor in the South. Here come the relatives. Here come the relatives. I survived with my single mother living off welfare and charity donations. I worked hard and had a job since I was 13. I put myself through college and now occasionally help my mom out financially. Understandable. My problem is I've been saving to the point that I now have a little extra stored and I really want to go on a real vacation with my partner, but spending money scares me. You know, that's not a bad thing. That's better than being the other way where you just, you know, it just slips through your fingers. This is exactly how I was with money for different reasons. You know, I grew up in the 70s, gas crisis, you know, economic crunch and shit. And I had friends whose parents had real jobs and they lost the jobs and they lost the houses. They had to move away. And, you know, there's a period my family had to downsize. Like, you just saw it at a young age that, oh, shit does not stay the same. Shit moves. So, I remember when I moved to New York City, I was afraid to take a taxi cab. Like maybe twice a month I would take a cab, and I couldn't believe the luxury of it. I'd finish up down the Village and take a cab all the way uptown, back when they drove like lunatics. They're starting to drive like lunatics again, but Giuliani slowed them down. But they used to have the way they had the lights timed is you could just fucking go from like basically, you know, 8th Street up to about 79th, 80th Street before, you know, just too many people got in front of you and you missed the light. You just be in this pocket of green lights the whole way up. And I remember it would just be such a luxury to do it. And then afterwards I would get out of the cab and I would feel so fucking guilty. And I would never order out for food. I just held on to every fucking dime because I didn't know what was going to happen. Even though, I always had this thing in the short run. I was white-knuckling, freaking out every fucking move I was making. But in the long run, I had this confidence and knew I was going to be all right. It was weird. So anyways, she says, okay, my problem is I've been saving to the point I haven't had enough money to go on a vacation, but spending money scares me. I have an emergency fund as well as a separate savings account for if a recession hits, and I was out of work for a few months. For if a recession hits and I was out of work for a few months. Okay, you weren't out of work. This is just in case. See, this is the way like a responsible person handles money. And then you don't become a debt to society. This is the way the government should be running this country. But they don't. And then when they fuck up, somehow then they come to people who responsibly handle their money and say, we have to take more of your fucking money. And that's like, well, what the fuck are you guys doing? You know? I'm balancing my budget. You can't do the same fucking thing? Paying $9 million more than you should be to these fucking assholes who get the government contracts? All right, let's stop making it about yourself, Bill. Sorry. All right. Growing up so poor has made me respect money and fear being without it. It's a hell of an education. I live modestly and below my means, but I think it's time I do something for myself. Is that selfish? Look at that. Yeah, it's like me taking the cab. How do you go about spending money on a vacation or an expensive purchase and not feel guilty? My partner says I deserve to relax a little, and even my manager says I should take some time off. What do you think? All the best to the lovely Nia and the little one. Go fuck yourself. I think they're right. And I don't think like this is going to be like hitting the crack pipe, like you're going to go on a 3-day fucking vacation and then all of a sudden just come back and start buying fucking gold chains and stupid shit. This is what I have learned late in my adult life is the importance of taking time off, the importance of taking a vacation, the importance of quiet time, and the amount of, recharging your batteries, and then you can come back and be even better at your job and become even more successful. You have to fucking do it. All right? The old me, I would have come right out of this fucking acting gig all summer long and gone right hardcore on the road, said yes to 1,000 fucking things. I did that a little bit. But once I saw this free time, I was like, oh, I can get my instrument rating. But that's fun and enjoyable. But I think it's huge. Huge. This is what you should do, is schedule in, a couple. You don't have to fucking go to, the ends of the world to go on vacation. You know what's really underrated? Not only a stay vacation, which I don't think you should do. I think you should go somewhere. Just taking a vacation, lakes are the shit. Just hanging out, getting a little fucking cabin. And it doesn't, a lake is a fucking lake. So you can find a cheap fucking place and, you're with your partner having a great time. Get some food, have a couple of beers, just fucking hang out. You can go to the grocery store and just buy burgers and dogs. Chill the fuck out. Laugh your ass off, play cards, don't watch TV, shut off your phone. If you did that for 3 days, you'd be amazed what that did for you. And it wouldn't even cost that much money. And then as you get more and more successful, or if you have like a place you really wanted to go on a vacation, just start saving towards that and save way more than you need and then go on that vacation. But I think you had, no pun intended, a priceless upbringing. And it's great to hear a young person that has this type of viewpoint on money. And that's a great way to be. It's always better. And my grandparents were like that because they lived through a depression. They were incredible with money. Both sets of grandparents were incredible with money. They just, first of all, aside from going through the depression, there was also repairmen back in the day. And if your TV broke, you got it fixed. You didn't just fucking throw it out. There wasn't this design obsolescence. Is that the word that they have with all of this shit, where you just accept the fact that things are going to break, and then you don't even entertain getting it fixed. You just throw it out. Unfortunately, there was a business right down on Sunset and Vine. It was somebody's camera shop, and I drove by it the other day, and I was on my way to the movies when I saw the great Quentin Tarantino movie, which I'm going to see again this week. I cannot stop thinking of two things I haven't stopped thinking about last week: that delicious cigar that I smoked and that movie. And anyway, there was a camera shop that went out of business. There's a couple of small businesses that broke my heart that went out of business. That one did. And Cascade Studios went out of business. That's where I played drums for the better part of 12 years. I would go down there, and they hooked me up. They would give me the showcase room and all of that stuff. And they just treated me like gold whenever I was there. And I just want to give a shout-out to Joe Laterza, who ran the place. I had such a great time going down there. And, they built this giant apartment building next door, and you just knew the writing was on the wall. Something was going to happen. They fucking raised the rent through the fucking roof. And it was this really cool warehouse-looking thing that had train tracks that went right up to the back of it. Like, I guess back in the day before they ripped up all the train tracks, these trains would pull right up, and they would, load and unload stuff right on the dock. And that was actually where the main studio was. But I mean, it was a legit studio. I remember being in there one time, and Billy Idol was in there with his band, Steve Stevens, and all these fucking monster players. I remember sneaking a peek in, trying not to get in trouble, but just listening to a professional band rehearsing was just fucking amazing. And then I would be down the hall, paradiddle, 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 like a fucking idiot. Cascade Studios, rest in peace, man. That was a great one. I hope Joe gets a chance to open up a place somewhere else, because once again, one of the things that's happening out here in LA is just so many awesome places where it's a place to go and do something gets swallowed up by just, I don't know, these apartment complexes. There's going to be nothing to do. I guess why they're getting ready for the virtual reality glasses where you don't have to go outside. I don't know. Go back to that little lady. Get a virtual reality glasses of fucking Greece.